Hello everyone, good evening, good afternoon, good day, wherever you are, wherever you're watching this video from. I'm really happy that you are actually watching this video right now. Thank you for being a part of this learning experience, the whole learning curve. I am so grateful that we're doing this together. So today will be the day where we will be addressing the issue of the media. So a couple of weeks back, we took a survey. I think about 33 women participated in the survey, and we asked some questions, and we said, so what would rank as the root cause of any form of insecurity that you might have concerning your body image. The media came out on top. Yes, it did. So most women felt that it was the effect of the media, that it was the media that had, a negative effect on their body image. And so today we will be looking into all of that. Without wasting too much time, we'll just go ahead to, generally just give a definition of what would we say, what's the media actually, because we're saying the media, what does this comprise of? And we can just generally say that this involves anything ranging from television, your TV shows, movies. It includes social media, of course, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook. These are the things that would we can say, okay, this is what the media is, and this is where this kind of information is disseminated to women all over the world, and whereby a new standard or definition of what beauty is released to everyone. What's the role of the media from when we're born? And I feel like the first exposure that we have is one of our exposure to watching cartoons. Yes, because obviously a 5-year-old child, a 3-year-old child would not be on Instagram. And even as at that age, when I was that age, there was nothing like Instagram. There was nothing like Facebook. So it was the cartoons that we had, right? We had Barbie, Cinderella, and all of that. Well, that's what I watched. I don't know. I don't know what you watched, at your time. But yeah, that's what we saw. And for me, I feel like even right from that time, this ideal body image had already been, embedded or planted into our minds, because you find that, for instance, Barbie had a certain outlook or shape or figure. It had to be hourglass, very slim, tall, clear skin tone, long hair. In fact, Barbie was white, permit me to say that. So many of us who are Black, there was no representation of our skin color or our race in a lot of all these cartoons. And for me, I feel like that even really majorly affected us, kind of sorta, in my country. I feel like in Africa generally, or that just kind of sort of made women believe that they needed to bleach their skin. And so when you move ahead, we're going into like high school movies, and that's when you have like, if you remember those movies, it just always appeared as though they were just, if you wanted to be, the happening girls in the class or in school, you just had to look a certain way. And so I feel like that's where everything started, where we began to, believe that, okay, this is how we should look. And so as we go on, we find that, there's a place of pageantry, most beautiful girl in the world, Miss this, Miss that. And sometimes I always ask myself, I feel like I still need to do a bit of research on this. But from what I have seen, I've discovered that, many of the roots, if you do a history of what, made many of these pageantry comments, it started from a money-making venture. It was about, okay, bringing people together, entertainment. It was more of, oh, let's entertain them and make some money at the end of the day. Yes, there's also, as it progressed, there was a place of, the political aspects and, cultural, aspect coming in, but majorly the foundation of the establishment of many of this pageantry can be traced back to entertainment and for profit. And then if you look at this pageantry itself, how this has, portrayed, how this has, given its own definition of what beauty is, you find that, many of the contestants have to look a certain way. They have to have a specific height, slim, hourglass, the same, all the same features that we've been talking about here. And so these themes, I mean, when I was a child, yes, I remember that I watched, Miss World. I remember then when Miss Nigeria won Miss World Agbani Derego, I was actually shocked. But for me, looking at that, I was like, okay, well, I definitely can never, ever, ever, be beautiful, because if this is what it means to be beautiful, then who am I? You get what I mean? So yes, all of those actually did affect my ideology of what I termed, or what I believe what most women term beautiful. And so I think that it's very important that we establish that many of these photos and, things that we see on social media and on the media generally, many of these photographs, many of these pictures have been distorted. Many of the pictures that have been put out there as the standard of beauty are misrepresentation of the actual physical figure of these women. So I'll give you just one example. There are numerous, millions of examples, but I'll just give you one very example that struck me. So Kelly Clarkson some years back was placed on the cover of a magazine, and she was literally, I would say, halved, like literally just halved. The shape of her face, the knife, and so and people were like, we know Kelly Clarkson, that's not her, so what is this? And what struck me deep was what the magazine editor actually said. And she said that yes, they did that, and they always do that, and they did that to make her look her personal best. Her personal best. And so her personal best will be to, change how she really looks physically and then put it on the cover of a magazine, and making other women literally aspire to be the figure that she really actually is not. And, she went on to say that, I think this photo is the truest we have ever put out there on the newsstand. She also did say that a cover's job, that's the cover of a magazine, is to sell the magazine. So in other words, in order to sell the magazine, in order for the magazine to sell, they had to literally reduce her size, right? And another editor said something that I found really interesting, and she said, why do we get bent out of shape when a magazine alters an image to portray a celebrity in their best light? No one wants to see a giant picture of some star's cellulite on the cover of a monthly magazine. Wow. Wow. So magazines literally, are putting her best face forward, which actually means, putting a different face forward. Yes, because you're literally putting someone that she's not. And, the sad part is when women, you and I, look at these pictures, and begin to work so hard, tirelessly. It's affecting, our mental health, everything, physical health, trying to be that person on the magazine that we see on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram. We're trying so hard to be that. In fact, talking about that, I remember a person, post some really amazing pictures online, and I look at this person all the time. I'm like, oh my God, your skin is so clear and so smooth. I literally was going to message her one day to say, tell me what's the secret. And after a couple of weeks and months, we actually did meet in person. And to be honest, for the first few minutes, I was dazed because I was like, this is how they say in Nigeria, is this your real face? Like, is this you? And I'm like, okay, this is not what you put out there. So this is something. Of course, I didn't say that, but I was, those were my internal thoughts. And I was like, okay. But I learned something from that experience that, oh, here I was, back then trying so hard to have that clear skin tone. And in reality, this person was nowhere close to that. Okay, so, that was a learning curve for me. And so I believe that it is very important that we understand that this, beauty business, I'll just call it that, is really a money-making, venture. And so there's no going back. So we're going to have to be aware and armed for this, because it might interest you to know that, plastic surgery, for instance, is one of the most profitable industries in the US, and Botox is number one cosmetic treatment. The global anti-aging market alone was worth 42.5 billion in 2018 and is estimated to grow to 55 billion by 2023. Diet and weight loss industry, raised in 65 billion in 2018. And so you must understand that this is real money. So it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. And so we have to come to the realization that, okay, we're going to have to be equipped for this because of the effect that it has on women.